quite wrap my head around this case. If you don't know the case, it happened in 2023 January. A mother called Lindsay was found essentially having attempted suicide. This is what it looked like, by the way, on the scene. And her 3 children were dead, including her newborn. They had, and if you obviously do not like gory details, this next sentence isn't for you, so skip ahead like 15 seconds. They were found with gym straps wrapped around their necks. My cat's just coming because he's attached to me today, and I love it because he's been more attached to my mum, and it pisses me off because I'm his mum, so you know. But the trial is happening now as we speak. It's been happening for the past week or 2. It's a trial to essentially either give her a small sentence or a big sentence. It's not to say she didn't do it, you know? However, a lot of the facts coming to light in this case at the moment point towards the husband, Patrick. And that's what I can't wrap my head around, is why this is not a case of, well, if she didn't fucking do it, who did? But those would be 2 very different proceedings. Now, the context that needs to be given, here's the thing, I'm going to say things like, even if she didn't do it, because I personally, from watching everything I've watched about this, do not believe that she did this. But she has admitted to doing it. Now, you're probably thinking, why would someone admit to doing it? Well, if someone tried to kill you to keep it silent, would you also not take the blame to be safe so that they don't come and kill you again? And also, like, I watched this Netflix documentary recently called The Toxic Love Story. And a woman in that true crime case, there's no murder, but it's violent. A woman that didn't send emails admitted to sending all the emails. Without context, it sounds like really blasé, but the whole thing was rooted around emails that were sent. And she did it because she felt so extremely threatened by her ex. She was completely traumatized by him. So that's why I think she hasn't done it, and that's why I think she's admitting to have done it. There's another reason why I think she's admitting to have done it. I don't think she remembers a whole lot. Now, for context, throughout this entire time, during the murders, for months to possibly years prior, she had postpartum depression. Now, a lot of the case is talking about, was she a loving mother? Was she struggling? Was she capable of doing this because of her struggling? And hi, baby. Yeah, he's stalking me today. I love him so much. We just cuddled. A lot of what I've just listed is both the prosecution and defense. Both of them is what they're trying to figure out. Now, I watched a video because I can't find. I think a lot of true crimers are gonna wait until the trial is over so that they can discuss the case as a full story. Whereas for me, I'm very interested in these things as they are happening. I want to understand things as they occur. I don't want to know, watch something just to know, oh, was she sent away or not? I like the in-between of how did they get to the final part, right? And I watched this one video I found, because I don't listen to podcasts, I watch YouTube videos on true crime. I watched one and it was a summary from a podcaster who has a media pass and is watching the trial live every day. And so another true crime YouTuber kind of giving her these questions about the trial. For me, there were parts of this video that were really good and parts that weren't. Now, I feel like, and this is my opinion, the podcaster who is attending the trial feels similarly to me. Okay? If you could, can you see this cat? I'm not gonna come rub your belly. We just cuddled. If you wanna come sit on me, you can. You wanna come sit on me? I'm gonna grab him and he's gonna run away. What's up? Oochie poochies. My little baby boy. A little baby boy who's not so baby anymore. Say hello. Say hello. Hi. My name's Jeannie. I'm Jane Bean. Aren't you just the cutest, bootish boy? There we go. They mentioned, they mostly were talking about yesterday as I'm filming this, which is going to be a few days prior to this coming out, the babysitter coming to stand. So it was mostly about that. But I feel like so much that has happened on the same day was not mentioned. Like the fact that none of her DNA was found on anything. But guess whose was? The husband. Bitch, don't. I'm pissed as fuck. Because I truly, in my heart of hearts, feel like he did this. And that's an opinion. It's not fact and nothing. It's just an opinion. And it stresses me out thinking that she's possibly going to spend the rest of her life paying for something she likely did not do. Jean actually did stay. Say hi, babe. I'm surprised. He really loves me today. Hi, my baby boy. Hello. Okay. So okay. Lindsay had postpartum depression. She begged her doctors to diagnose her. She begged people to listen to her. She begged people to understand her. No one helped her. She told, I believe, her husband. She told her babysitter. She told everyone she is struggling. And no one either helped or took her seriously. And yesterday, her journal entries were given to court as evidence by prosecution, as if it fucking helps them. This is another thing I'll go into. And she literally writes down every single day suicidal thoughts, deeply depressed. She's literally writing down everything she's really feeling. She was not quiet about her suffering. And obviously that tells you everything you need to know about how women are treated after birth. It tells you everything, because this is what happens when someone who is mentally unwell doesn't get the help they need, if she did it. Now, let's get one thing out of the way. If she did it, you can go up. No? Okay, he wants to go the other way. If she did it, that her postpartum depression obviously doesn't excuse anything. Jean? Jane. Jane. Jean, stop going that way. You're destroying my curtains. Just go here. Thank you. It doesn't obviously absolve her of her crime at all, but down to the law, if we're talking law-wise, it gives her reasoning. Not to do it, but why she did it. The whole clinically insane law, right? Because what they're trying to determine is if she knew what she did as she was doing it, if it was premeditated, and if it was with malice, right? Like with hatred. So purposeful rather than an accident or self-defense. You know, these are all the other words that they're using that can be used. Thus far, I don't believe there's any proof that it was premeditated. Like, she didn't go like, oh, I'm gonna kill my kids. But that's probably the reason why the prosecutors are using the mental health thing. Usually that goes against them, and it is going against them according to witnesses in court, and like witnessing the jury and stuff. To kind of be like, well, it was premeditated because her illness made her feel this way about her kids. When this is why it's going against them. Her journal talks about how much she loves her children, and if you don't stop biting, yeah. And then anyway, the big thing that is linked to what I just said was the babysitter. And this is, in my personal opinion, the perfect witness to have on stand as a viewer, as an audience on cases. I don't know what the right word is because I'm not in there, so I'm not watching it, you know, like online. As someone interested in a case, because if you heard that, that's him licking himself, so yeah, ASMR. Because she was so honest. She was the prosecutor's witness, and her testimony completely destroyed the prosecution. It was fully in favor of Lindsay. So now you're saying, how is that fair? When Lindsay's team, the defense, asked her questions, her response was against Lindsay. This was, and I'll tell you basically how that happened. So the prosecution was like, did you feel like she was a loving mother? And obviously they wanted her to say no. She was like, yes. And she went on about it. She was like, she cared about them so deeply, about when they were going to sleep, how they were eating, about breastfeeding, about everything. And she said she was a wonderful mother. Defense comes up and he's like, do you love Lindsay? And she went, I loved Lindsay. So it's like this totally honest, level-headed human. I have so much respect for this woman because I can't imagine how hard it is to be someone in that position, regardless of sides. And how much of a stressor something like that would be, an anxiety-inducing. And I just think she fucking did incredible, because she didn't go, well, I'm going to be biased because I love Lindsay, but I'm also not going to lie. And the thing is the first answer she gave to the prosecution destroys them far more than her past tense, I loved Lindsay, destroys the defense. Because her previous testimony to the prosecution is far stronger in their favor. So according to witnesses in the courtroom, that made a lot of people feel towards Lindsay. And a lot of what is going on in court apparently is humanizing her very much, which it should in the bigger picture, because I think with people who are serial killers and all that, you can't humanize shit. Okay, you just can't humanize shit. Even if she did this, and again, this is my opinion when I'm saying if she did this, that's a woman who struggled so grievously, so horrifically, who begged for help and was completely fucking let down by the health system, by her friends, by her family, by her fucking husband, by everyone. She was failed by everyone. So that, yes, that is a human. And I do think even, I don't know, I think she needs to just be put into a mental home that genuinely cares about her as a human, so that she can actually just get better. And I don't think prison's gonna do anything for her, because she's not going to be a repeat offender. But I don't think she should be allowed to leave the mental facility for a long time. So yeah, I don't want to gloss over the fact that the husband's DNA was found on everything but not hers. Tell me how that adds up. The clips I've seen are insane, where the judge, and I thank God again for this judge, like everyone who's in this seems to be quite level-headed, which usually just is not the case. But he genuinely goes to the prosecution and goes, "You're telling me her DNA is not on anything?" Because they try to gloss over it as if that's not fucking evidence against her. For her, against them. He's like, "I'm so sorry. I don't understand. What do you mean?" Because again, this isn't a case of did she or did she not do it. It's she did it. How much time does she get? Is she less guilty or more guilty? Which is why it makes no fucking sense, because there's no evidence aside from her saying she did it. And the fact that she has, it's not a motive, but there's a reasoning here of like, oh, she was mentally ill, of course she did it. And the mental illness was linked to her children of postpartum. There is no evidence she did it. What do you do with that? How is that okay? She's in court, regardless, pretty much going to jail. And there's no evidence she did it. I physically can't, because also, I believe, and I might be wrong, so don't take this as fact, but he's now remarried. It's been 3 years. And there was a doctor, I believe, again, a doctor, I don't know if I'm 100% accurate on that, who came onto the witness stand and was testifying against Lindsay. Guess what people found online? Doctor and new wife are besties. I just feel like when I watch these things, like I'm insane, because it's like something is very clear to me that it's not, and it's not clear to other people. And I feel like it should be clear to everyone because it's so vividly clear to me. And then I start feeling mad because I'm like, why are people not talking about this? I mean, people are online, obviously, but I mean, like in court, I desperately want defense to focus on the fact that there's no evidence, there's no DNA. Because right now they're focusing on the fact that she was a loving mother. Okay, you've done that well. Move on to the next bit of evidence that she didn't do this. That's how you get someone off, right? And oh, there's just so many things about that man. There's so many things about that man that I am seeing online that I just don't trust. And like on the video I watched, the some like of the podcaster, she was like, oh, like he wasn't a cheater. Like, 3 years after your 3 children, including newborn, die, and you're not just dating, which is fine, or, you know, in a serious relationship, you're married. Tell me again how that man isn't a cheater. I beg you. Because also in her journal entries, Lindsay literally says that their marriage is on the rocks. I wonder why. I wonder why. And the fact, someone said this and it's so true, the fact that the police turned up, 3 kids are dead, and a woman is basically hanging herself. And the man's just fine. And they go, let's not question him at all. What the fuck do you mean? There was also someone, because I believe she was a nurse, Lindsay was a nurse, and someone said something about how the way, again, this is quite gory, so skip ahead, but the way that the kids were killed, or the way that she tried to harm herself, I can't remember which one, was not done in a way that a nurse would know how to kill someone. Like a nurse would know if you sever something, I don't know what it is, that's it, you're dead. So the fact that something was done improper to what a nurse would know is evidence against the fact that she did it. Because the thing is even when you're in psychosis, facts don't leave the brain and you are still able to talk normally. So people are like, why was she in psychosis for 30 minutes? And then the police spoke to her and she was talking normal. Psychosis is mental, babes. It's not physical. Psychosis is within. So you can talk normal. You can speak facts. So she would have known, even within psychosis, if I do this, death. Especially if that's her motive, is to die or to kill someone. And that's the quickest way, or at least rather the way to get the result. It literally, I'm sorry, it just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me because someone, this comment is also everywhere, and it's someone saying there's nothing scarier than a husband who wants to be single. This is such a dire case to me because not just obviously because of 3 children losing their life and in such horrible fucking ways, and regardless of who did it, mum or dad, that's a parent, that's their parent who killed them. It's just the most horrific case in general, but it's even more dire when you look at the big picture of a mother struggling, begging for help, suffering with postpartum depression. And if the evidence that is pointing towards the husband is correct, then this man is going to get away with murder. 3 murders of his children. I genuinely I don't think I fully understand the scope of everything going on in this case. Like, I need to do even more research, but also the trial is ongoing, and so I'm gonna watch. I don't like to watch it live because I feel like it drags out a lot. I like to watch the official kind of like news summaries and stuff from unbiased spots, or like the highlights from the official court proceedings. So far it seems to be in Lindsay's favor, which is amazing. I really do hope that it is, because again, even if she did this woman needs fucking help. And yeah, again, let me make it straight. If she did do this, she needs to pay for what she did, because what she did is horrifying. Yeah, I feel really jumbled with my thoughts on this one because it's so like, I don't know, it's just a horrifying case. And I think we'll have to see how it goes. But yeah. One more thing I'll add is there are many people who are into true crime, and you know, it's not necessarily a fact, but I agree with this, which is she is the most believable defendant out of all similar cases. You know, that I watched a case recently, and it's an old case, it's not a new one, where a mother attempted to kill her child and did kill her 2 previous husbands. And she was stone cold, didn't give a fuck. And a lot of people who end up, or who have done those things, you know, you think, oh, you're a mother. Like, even if you did do that, have some emotion when your daughter is testifying against you, crying, saying like, this is goodbye, like, I can't believe you tried to do that to me. There's a level of emotion you expect, and Lindsay has that, you know, like, there are moments where she's really stone cold, and in the sense of like she's trying to like keep it in, and then there are moments she just can't. She's sobbing, weeping, she you can just see the fucking pain and grief. I haven't seen that man cry once. I'm sorry, I just haven't. I haven't seen that man cry once. I don't believe anything out his mouth. But that's an opinion. And I might be wrong. And I'm fully happy to admit when I'm wrong. So if I end up being wrong, sorry. Because she'll be put away if that's the case, obviously. I mean, she'll be put away technically anyway. But yeah. I just feel yeah, just they took her out the room when it came to showing photo evidence because she physically and emotionally could not handle it. And I just think if someone committed a crime, even something in their head, like, it's not that they would want to see it or even could stomach seeing it, but more so just like they might even in their head, if they are a good person, if they were you know, someone who regrets what they did, they would be like, you know what, I gotta fucking look at this shit, this is what I did, and it makes me sick to my stomach that I did this. But she physically couldn't look, and I just think someone who physically can't look at what they did, I don't believe fully that they did it. That's just also, it's not, again, it's not the behavior of a sociopath or a psychopath. That's not that behavior. And that's what I meant earlier when I said by repeat offender. Like, that's just not the pattern of behavior that comes with people who are sociopaths or psychopaths or repeat offenders. She needs help. She needs so much severe help, but so does he. Seriously. Anyways, it'll be interesting to see what happens with this case. I hope that regardless, justice is brought to those children, because that is the #1 thing. I hope that whether I'm right or wrong, in my personal opinion, whoever did this gets what they deserve. That's what I hope. And so far, it's looking very level-headed and unbiased in court, which I'm really pleased about, because that really is quite rare. So yeah, I love you guys. Stay safe. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.